Is Solana in trouble here? Over the past few weeks, we've watched Solana pull back almost 50%, and the timing couldn't feel more ironic because fundamentally, Solana has been dropping good news after good news almost weekly. The ecosystem, the growth, developer activity, and new integrations, yet price has been anything but reflective of that momentum, as well as all the ETF news and developments that have occurred as well. So what's really going on here? Why are we seeing such a sharp correction? And the big question everyone is asking is, will Solana actually be at risk of breaking below $100? Today I'm going to break down the key levels that I'm watching, the structure that I see forming and have been monitoring for quite some time, and what Solana needs to hold to avoid a much deeper move. My name is Paul Sampson. Welcome back to DataDash. All right, folks, let's jump right on into it. Solana is currently trading at about $134 after reaching $250 back in September, just a few months ago, and is now down approximately 50%. Now, I want to start off by going back a little bit here, pointing out that we have pretty much just been ranging around in this really big window of price action here since basically 2024. And when we came down, or we're coming down into this area here, I had noted a potential bullish shark, which is a harmonic setup, which is a sequence of Fibonacci, right? And this is it right here, where we come up, we take the highs, we come down, and we take the lows. We had an, at the time, naked point of control here, which we were looking to come into. This is where the completion zone was as well. And from there, we got a nice sizable bounce with three major targets to be aware of. One of which being the main one, which is sitting right here at $196. All right. So this is, in this setup, the number one important area you'd want to be taking profit at, or de-risking, or just being aware of, because this is the level that, if lost or if rejected from, turns this into what's known as a 5-0, where you get a rejection at that 50 point and you get a pullback towards some other areas that we're going to cover here in a second. But we really flirted around this region for quite some time. We actually front ran it right here at first, then we effectively met it here, came through it again here, and then we started living above it. And while you're above it, you can start to target the next target area, which was 274. And again, we topped off just about $19 away from it before coming back, effectively losing that 196. And this is where, again, just being aware of that really key region. While yes, we could have, waited to see if we could have reclaimed it, but as long as you're trading below that, you have to be aware that we are in the territory now for what is known as, again, that 5-0 setup. So lose the 0.5, lose that 196, and it puts you into a place where you head down to meet, again, what's called the 5-0 targets. So one of which being the 886 down here, which is $131, which is where Solana has so far found its footing at the time of recording. But this is now the next key support here, where we're coming back down to it at the moment as well. And we can very well flirt down around these regions, get a reclaim again, very similar to what we did at the top side here, where we lived a little bit above that and then effectively ended up losing it. So it's not a complete death sentence if we just come down and lose 131 that we have to see a nuke down below. But when you start to flip these levels here, if we start to flip 131, the next major support really doesn't come in until $85 from here. So when looking at the key levels of what Solana needs to hold here as far as support would go, truly it would be this 131 where we are currently trading at right now. Aside from that, if we lose that, then we'll have to look at things a little bit more locally as the days go on here, but in a higher time frame, as long as we're trading below 131, if we lose it, the next major support is going to be $85 around there. Of course, $100 is going to offer up that mental, psychological area, but the next major area that I'd be interested or concerned with wouldn't be until 85. Now, on the contrary, hold this 131, okay? And we still have that 196 as our main area above us to get back above. All right. So if we're looking for that key level to get above for any more sizable upside from here, meaning that where we are now, we could easily push up and range around this region and really nothing would materialize. We would just be waiting to see whether we break down below 131 or break above 196. Those two lines in the sand essentially are just that. So break down below 131, that's our major support here. And then from there, we'd have to be aware that $85 is likely at that point, unless reclaimed, okay? And on the flip side, we break above 196. That's what we're looking for any type of upside, unless we break above and lose it again. So these two levels are really what we need to get above, or if you want to see it below for some better price action, dollar cost averaging as far as that would go, then $85, obviously wouldn't be a bad sign for someone in that case. But that's how I'm monitoring and watching Solana from here. You also note that I have 197 essentially marked off as an untapped monthly pivot for the month of November. So this is actually the average of price from last month. It's very likely to be met this month. It's got a high probability. It's not 100% by any means, so it doesn't have to be met. We're about 2 weeks into, or almost 3 weeks into, the November month now. So this is something to be aware of. For me, I'm keeping it in mind with a trading plan. It's really more for a confluence level now, because again, that 196 is our key level to get above. So if for some reason, we see a really quick move out of Solana, which we tend to see a snapback at times to these averages. Really nothing again materializes until we get above that region. So we could easily snap back to this area and still end up rolling over. And that would just be more so a return to the average more than anything, another rejection off of that big key level. So really big level to be aware of here, and for us to get above 196 for any type of upside. Of course, that's a huge jump away from where we are now. Again, that's 50% away, just blindly waiting for 196. If you were looking to deploy any new capital, probably wouldn't be the best type of strategy here. But again, it's just going to be dependent on what is best for you at this point. Not financial advice, of course. Myself, I'm obviously positioned from lower. If I was looking to DCA of some degree and looking and anticipating that this was going to go higher, then 131 and 85 are going to be those two levels that I'd be really considering at this point. Okay, again, this is something that's down 50% from just where we were a few weeks ago. Even if we were to see the move up back to our monthly average, that's a 50% move. That's could totally be had, and then from there we gauge the reaction and see what happens at that point to see if we're going to continue on up. This would definitely be another area to consider taking profit at, right? To take some off the table. Doesn't have to be everything, just potentially an area to de-risk a bit so that you still have skin in the game if we do continue higher. And then also you have, if we reach this region and get rejected, then you have some dry powder on the side to potentially, dollar cost average again if we head lower to 85 or even lower than that, right? So that's how I'd be playing this at this exact moment. Going to, of course, depend on how Bitcoin reacts at these levels as well. All right, so a pretty quick one for you folks today. So that's going to wrap everything up here at the current look at Solana. Corrections like this can feel very stressful, especially when the fundamentals look strong around it. But this is where staying just level-headed really matters. Markets don't move in straight lines, and even the strongest narratives go through periods of shakeout and consolidation. So as always, we'll keep tracking the key levels here, the momentum shifts, and the broader macro conditions that are influencing everything right now. And if anything major changes, you'll hear it from us first. Stay patient, stay rational, let the charts unfold here. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next video, and until then, everybody, cheers.